Okay, come on, Lynn. Okay, so we're just going to continue working our way a little bit further to the west here. Eventually, we're going to arrive at a big swamp where we left off earlier this morning on the exploration. The sun is still kind of trying to pop out here. It's a little chilly. Left my gloves in the truck. Try to keep my hands warm here. So you can see here, as we kind of continue to the west here, we're actually starting to get into a little bit of a cutting. And again, these cuttings are very, very common in this area. And again, it was all about grade mitigation, right? So again, this line had a lot of incline to climb, basically leaving off from you know, the station at Fort William, which was about 630 feet. And then we're climbing towards the next station, which is at Crest. Baird was at 920 feet. The next station coming up is at Crest, which is almost 1,100 feet. So there's a lot of incline on this line between Lake Superior and this point. And then getting up to Dona, which is over 1,200 feet. And again, big issue with this line. And again, big reason why this section of line was abandoned, because the grades were not particularly great compared with the old Canadian Northern line, the Kashabawi subdivision. All right, here we go. So we're continuing on through this cutting here. Again, just a beautiful section of grade here. And you can see how easy it is to traverse. It's nice and open. And again, it gives you a sense of how much earth they moved to construct this line. And we've seen some of these massive cuts, and you're going to see some even bigger ones further up on the other side of Crest, where some of those cuttings, these ones are probably in the 12-foot range, maybe 10-12-foot range. You're going to see some that are absolutely massive, that are in the 30-foot or even higher range. And again, just all about that grade mitigation, right? Trying to get the correct incline for the right of way. And again, there were some big challenges with this particular line. And again, that was a big challenge when they built it, because you already had two existing railway lines in the area that had basically taken up the two best routes. You know, the Canadian Pacific being built in the 1870s, and then the Canadian Northern being built 1899, 1902. And this line essentially had to find a route wherever they possibly could. And you know, this is the route that they ended up with, and not necessarily the most ideal type of situation that they had. Okay, so kind of a neat little find. Haven't seen any telegraph poles, any insulators, and so I'm guessing Howard came across one. So this is kind of an aqua blue CD 145 or something like that. Again, I'm not an expert with these things. Normally these say GTP on them, but obviously you can see that it's heavily damaged and there are sections missing off of it. Again, kind of neat to see that. All right, here we go. So just continuing on here, the sun has poked out a little bit more. Very, very low on the horizon this time of the year as we move towards the winter solstice, which is coming up in just over a month. Again, it is the 16th of November. Sort of lose a little bit of the cutting work here. But again, you can see the age of the right-of-way here. You can see the size of some of the trees that are growing up. Again, just a very, very beautifully manicured right away here. How much further do we have to go? We've got about 700 meters till we get to the big swamp. So here you can see cutting work comes up a little bit more again. Again, you can see the size of the trees, right? That's got to be a 2-foot diameter tree. I wish all the sections were like this. So earlier this morning we did the section a little bit further to the west, and it was not particularly pretty. So now the sun's kind of out. It's a little, it's got some high clouds here, so it's not terrible in terms of the shadows and stuff. Hi, Loon. So here we start getting into a little bit more of the swampier areas, and then we're really going to get into the swamp further up. Okay, so 400 meters, just over 400 meters will take us to where we left off this morning. So normally this area would be fairly wet, but again, because it's been so dry this fall, it's pretty dry in here. Hey, come on. It seems so funny because, again, this morning when we did the next piece, at one point when we were kind of coming back, the fog had sort of come in so thick you couldn't really see anything, and now the sun's kind of trying to poke out. Just the tale of what happens with the weather at this time of the year. Again, I'm very glad that we're able to get this all in right now. And so essentially this is the last sort of piece. I was thinking of doing this in the springtime, but now that we're able to kind of do it now, this year we've basically been able to do everything from the start of the line all the way up to almost Wraith. And so we were able to accomplish a lot this year. So here we're starting to get up into kind of a bit of an embankment. You can see it starts to grow in here, and literally, how far is that? So 250 meters is where we left off this morning. So, and again, it just feels like just a completely different day from where we were there this morning. It was there was a heavy frost So the trees were all full of like droplets of water. And like I said, it just feels like a completely different day right now. Sorry, I'm just checking to see if these are actual stumps or there's these little concrete and metal rail holders that we've seen in some places, and just trying to see if I see them in other spots as well. So again, just judging by this, this was probably this was used as a road, because you can basically see like the ruts, and you can see how it's been kind of widened out. Okay, hold on a second, we want to mark this. Because this is the start of the cutting that we were in this morning. How far away is the 100 meters? Come on then. So you can see the height of the cut here. So it's probably in I don't know, 10-foot range, at least on that side, on the north side. Are you with me, Loon? Yeah, so this is literally where we finished up, or we started this morning, because there's the big swamp. Again, it just looks like, it feels like a totally different day. I don't know how far, where we were when we started the video. You can see all the little dams that the beaver has built. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna hold up here, and then, like I said, I'm pretty sure this is where the next section of video kicks in.